No, your eyes are not deceiving you. I am making a video. Yes. I never said I was retired. I've let's just say I've been busy. If you're wondering where the Marvelous One has been for about the last 6 years, and since about the last time I made a video, but every once in a while something happens in wrestling that just transcends things, and just why would I get myself out of retirement? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm sure, as you know by now, if you watched AEW Dynamite last week, you saw the return of the icon Sting. Now, if you know anything about my wrestling likes and dislikes, you know I'm a huge mark for Sting. And it isn't just because my name's Marvelous Mark. No. Sting has been my favorite wrestler probably since, I'd have to say, about the late 80s. And my favorite match still to this day is from the first Clash of Champions, the match that Ric Flair had with Sting in the main event of the very first Clash of Champions. But with all that being said, with Sting's return, and it's fitting that it's on TNT because, I mean, granted, Sting has not been on TNT for almost 20 years. Ever since the very last episode of Monday Nitro back in March of 2001. And just to hear Tony Schiavone saying, "It's Sting!" I mean, just like that, it's like, it kind of took me back to when I was in my 30s. I mean, seriously. I mean, that was just an awesome sight. But okay, now that you got Sting in I almost said TNA in AEW. I mean, he kind of had to stare down with Arn Anderson. I mean, God, you know the history between those two. Them with the Four Horsemen and Sting and the wars that they had. Then Cody Rhodes, and Sting and Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, baby, they were good friends. They tagged at Stockade one time in 1988 against the Road Warriors. God bless both their souls, and Cody's dad too. But having said all this, I know that Tony Khan has signed him to a full-time multi-year contract, but I mean, it's the Stinger is now 61 years old. It's like, do I want to see him get back in the ring? God, no. No, I don't want to see him get back in the ring. But you look at the stare down that he had with Darby Allin. I mean, you take a look at what AEW has done with some of their legendary wrestlers. They put them in managerial roles. I mean, you got Taz with his team Taz. You got with the Machine Brian Cage, Absolute Ricky Starks, and now he just added Powerhouse Hobbs to the mix. So that's good in that regard. Then you got Jake the Snake and Roberts advising Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk Monster. Then you got Tully Blanchard, Metal D's favorite wrestler of all time, doing what he's doing with the former AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR, and also with Shawn Spears. And then if they're going to bring in Sting for that kind of role, with the stare down that him and Darby Allin had, I mean, granted, I don't want to see Sting getting back into a ring or anything like that, but if he gets into like a managerial role with, let's say, a Darby Allin or something like that, I'd be okay with that. I know Sting's gonna be protected in that. They're not gonna have him take bumps, and that's a good thing. Ever since he was diagnosed with that spinal stenosis that ended his career after that one match he had with Seth Rollins, but if they're gonna use Sting in that kind of a role, like where he's advising a young up and coming talent like the TNT champion Darby Allin, hey, I'm okay with that. So I just want to get on here for a few minutes just to talk about Sting and what kind of presence he still brings even at his age, at 61 years old. I mean, this is just good business by Tony Khan bringing in a legend and an icon like the Stinger. I mean, because really here, because you know that Sting's going to bring in ratings. It ain't going to be somebody like Hangman Page, who only the hardcore fans know, probably like myself and others, but Sting is he's one of those names that just transcends the business. I mean, he is one of the few legendary iconic figures in wrestling that still move the needle. So anyway, I just wanted to get on here for a few minutes, and I just wanted to talk about Sting's return to debut in AEW, and I just want to hear what you guys think about it, and what you thought about it, and what your reaction was. So anyway, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm still Marvelous Mark. I haven't changed that much. Maybe I've gotten a few years older and I've lost some hair, but that's, hey, it all happens to the best of us. So anyway, I will hopefully, maybe if the opportunity presents itself, you might just see me again. All right. Goodbye.